You could be the master of your fate, you could be the captain of your soul, but you have to realize that life is coming from you and not at you. And that takes time.
No one has ever hurt you in the whole of your life. No one. No event has ever upset you. This was done by you. In fact, it wasn't even done by you because we wouldn't do this deliberately. It was done by your conditioning, by your programming, by the way you looked at things and at life. That's what needs to be changed. So, if people are bugging you, they're upsetting you, this is a glorious opportunity to understand yourself, understand your programming, to realize that the upset is coming, not from them, but from your programming. I'm not saying don't do something. You want to do something? That's fine. But if you're doing it to relieve your negative feelings, that's awful. If you change, they would change. You're really seeing people not as they are, but as you are.
So you want to become pure again? You want to become light again? Well, it's time to cut off some things and not add on. The adding on is what this world already is propagating. This is what many people are living in. The world of adding stuff up. Why? Because, like we said before, we don't feel enough. That's why we keep on adding. Also realizing right now, yeah, but when will I finally be full? Never. With this approach, never. Because you keep on looking for the answer on the outside. But this year, we have to change.
What we give out, we get back. And what we believe about ourselves becomes true for us. Our thinking creates our experiences. There is a law of thinking like everything else, like all of nature. There is a universal energy or law of mind or subconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. But to me, it means the power that is within me and around me transforms my thoughts into experiences. Every thought we think and every word we speak is creating our experiences. And it's almost as though every time you think a thought or you speak a word, that universal intelligence or energy is listening or responding to what you are thinking or believing or saying. Whatever we choose to believe becomes true for us.
Look at yourself and ask yourself, what is the most disturbing, whatever it is, from the last week in your life? What is disturbing you about your life the most from the last week? What is it? Which emotional state is it that followed you primarily in the last 1 month? Is it somebody who triggers it? Is it something that triggers it? So really boil it down to the point that you actually see, this is what blocks me right now in my life. This is literally what blocks me in my life. I want to move into the future, but this year it follows me, it blocks me, it takes my energy. It's this one. I can literally see it. No, that is the one. Now invest all of the energy to figure out the solution for this one.
Whenever you feel sad or mad or nervous or out of control, write down what you're thinking and then ask yourself, is it true? How do I feel when I have this thought? How do I act when I have this thought? And what's the outcome of the thought? And then turn it to the opposite. How would I feel if I didn't have the thought? How would I act if I didn't have the thought? What's the outcome of not having that thought? Write down 100 of your worst thoughts. Take them through that process. And by the time you get to 30, they'll stop bothering you.
Most people just don't understand that you are being primed all the time, and unless you prime yourself, you're going to be primed by the environment. Your brain right now is being conditioned and triggered whether you know it or not. It's being done continuously. So I want to take control of my brain. So I do 3 quick things. 1, I take 3 minutes and I focus on 3 different events in my life that I'm grateful for. The 2 emotions that mess up your business, your life, your relationships are anger and fear. You can't be angry and grateful simultaneously. And you can't be fearful and grateful simultaneously. Then real fast, I do this 3-minute process that's kind of like a blessing. And then 3 minutes, the last 3 minutes are called 3 to Thrive, where I focus on 3 things I want to accomplish. But instead of thinking I want to accomplish, I see, feel, and experience it as done. I feel grateful, I celebrate it, and it trains your brain. So in 10 minutes, I'm done.
First step is to simply shift your awareness from your mind into your heart. It helps if you can gently touch your heart center, physically. Gentle touch, physical sensation right over the heart center, and your awareness will always go to the place where you feel the sensation. That's the key. Second step, slow your breathing a little bit slower than typical, maybe 5 seconds inhale, 5 seconds exhale, because the only time you would ever slow your breathing and breathe in that way is when you feel safe. When you feel that you're in a place that's safe and you're not threatened and you're not vigilant of your surroundings. So you're telling your body you're in a place that's safe. Slow your breathing. Third step, and this is the key, is to begin to feel the feeling that creates 0.1 hertz. Feel the feeling that sets up the coherence between your heart and your brain. At the Institute of Heart Math, their researchers have found that there are 4 key words that work almost 100% of the time for everyone. Appreciation for anything or anyone, gratitude for anything or anyone, care, and compassion.
The person who's feeling really bad about themselves because they're not doing anything to change, it's just because when you're not changing, you're still choosing. But what you're choosing is something that makes you feel familiar and comfortable. Because the moment you decide to change, truly get serious about change, the moment you decide to make a different choice and do something differently, you are going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to be immediate. And that's the moment you go from the known into the unknown. Now, if the body has been emotionally conditioned to be the mind, like we talked about earlier, the servant is the master. And so the person who steps out into the unknown and it feels uncomfortable, what is the body going to say? Get back to suffering. Get back to feeling bad. Get back to feeling guilty. At least that's familiar, that's known.
The only way you ever get where you want to go, you have to take a path that's dangerous. And most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation. Almost every time. It's hell. You have to do it like your life depends on it. Whatever time that you have to attack like you're trying to save the world. You're trying to save your life. You don't want to drown. You got to go. You got to get after it. And you got to have discipline.
Learning how to concentrate is absolutely essential to success. As a matter of fact, it is impossible for you to accomplish anything worthwhile in life without the ability to concentrate single-mindedly on one thing at a time and stay with it until it's complete. In fact, time and motion studies have shown that if you start a task and you put it down and you come back to it and pick it up and start it and put it down and come back to it and pick it up, that it will take you as much as 500% of the necessary time to do a task than if you picked it up and carried it through. Alec McKenzie, great time management expert. Alec McKenzie calls this single handling. Once you have made a list of what you have to do, organized your goals, determined the highest and most valuable priority, then pick the most important thing and begin working on it and stay with it until it's finished. Now people say, well, if I stay with this task until it's finished, I won't get anything else done. That doesn't matter. If it's the most valuable thing that you have to do, it's the most important thing that you could be working on.
If you could close your eyes and rehearse in your mind mentally how you're going to behave in certain situations, you'll be so present the brain won't know the difference between what you're imagining and what is real. And when they do that, they actually prime their brain. They actually can change their brain and change their body. Who's making you happy, by the way? Who's making you happy? There's nobody doing that to you. You're doing that to you. You're making yourself, you're not relying on anybody in your life to do that. Now, that is an attractive energy. That's the person who relates well with money. They relate well with people. They're very giving. They're very caring. They want nothing in return. They're more present because that's who they're practicing being. And so there's a natural affinity, a natural attraction because the person is really present and they're really okay. And something is different about them. Something is unique about them. So the relationship we have with people when we're in that state where we're really okay with ourselves, or we've made ourselves happy, we're really happy with ourselves, allows us to find beauty through the lens of love in anything and no one else sees it, right? Getting there is the overcoming process.
When we're not feeling good, we are emotionally involved with a destructive concept that we put in here ourselves. It can't make you sick. He can't make you angry. She can't upset you. You got to do it to yourself. Let's consciously and deliberately build a positive idea, get emotionally involved with the positive idea, and simultaneously we move into a positive vibration. Everything changes.
When we have a problem, most of us go, oh, panic, panic, God, what are we going to do, blah, 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 blah. But I have something that I try to get people to say. When the minute there's a problem, you stop and you go, all is well, everything's working out for my highest good, and out of this experience, only good will come, and I am safe. And you do this, if it's a small thing, I say it 2 or 3 times. If it's a bigger issue, I babble it incessantly. This quiets your inner turmoil down long enough for the universe to find the solution to the so-called problem. See, when there's problems, we don't have to fix problems so much. We need to fix our thinking and our attitude about how we respond to them. And then you get less and less.